2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No.
Welcome to G5 Jeff TV. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button as you come on in. Big shout out to the sponsors of the channel. My boy Fast Classic, his mixtape is in the description box. It is absolutely free. Definitely give him a download, give him a listen. And my boy Matt, definitely check his apparel out on IG at We All From. Now, I know this fight happened on Saturday, but I needed a couple days to process with what I was actually watching. And I'm not even joking. Like I'm not joking. I'm not trying to be sarcastic or anything like that. I really needed to process what I was actually watching. Alfredo Angulo and Peter Quillin had an action fight, and Alfredo Angulo won a decision. I think it was a split decision. And I'm watching this fight, and prior to the fight, I made a video when the Peter Quillin and Caleb Truax fight fell through because of an injury to Caleb Truax. And I said, as crazy as this sounds, I said I'd rather the Alfredo Angulo fight over the Caleb Truax fight. Obviously, Caleb Truax is a better fighter than Alfredo Angulo, but styles make fights. And I said in that prior video, I said, okay, Peter Quillin, Alfredo Angulo, all right, that'll give Peter Quillin a chance to really get his shots off. Like, because Alfredo Angulo was like Joe Joyce slow. That was my thoughts prior to the fight. And as I watched the fight, I could not believe what I was watching. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Like, again, I'm not a boxer. I'm not a fighter. I will always defer to someone that's inside of the boxing game. But I'm just telling you what I seen in the fight. There's no way on God's green a prime Peter Quillin doesn't get Alfredo Angulo up out of there. Like, quick, fast, and in a hurry. And I'm talking within 5 rounds. I was amazed by what I saw because Peter Quillin might have been slower than Alfredo Angulo. I'm talking about the foot movement, just being fluid inside of the ring, pivoting, moving right to left, left to right. It was almost like Peter Quillin was in quicksand. I never seen Peter Quillin like that before. Never. Now, he's not fleet of foot. Like, let's not, I don't want to get it confused. But Peter Quillin looked, I mean, super slow. Like I said, if not as slow as Alfredo Angulo, slower. And you could tell he was trying to follow the game plan that he had, which was move to the left, move to the right, give angles, and then get your punches off. Which I agreed with the game plan. You don't give a guy with power like Alfredo Angulo a straight line to work with. Like, you give him angles. You give a power guy angles. Like, you don't leave your face on a straight line. So I agree with the strategy, but Peter Quillin was so slow and his punches wasn't flowing. And just offensively, he looked lost. Like, it almost looked like he was trying to punch and move at the same time. Like, it just wasn't working for him. Like, it just wasn't working for him. Like, the game plan was correct, but the physical attributes for Peter Quillin at this point didn't allow him to carry out the game plan. And I didn't score this fight. Whether Alfredo Angulo legitimately won a decision, like, it doesn't even matter. At this point, Peter Quillin just physically looked like he has diminished, like, bad. And if you actually look at Peter Quillin, he hasn't fought more than once in a calendar year since 2015. I mean, that's almost 5 years. And you can be in the gym all day long, but it's nothing like actual fight action. Peter Quillin is the type of guy that he has to be active. I mean, at least 2 fights a year. Possibly 3. He probably needs to fight 3 times a year. But I was hearing how bad Peter Quillin looked by some other boxing channels, and I didn't want to believe it. Like, I DVR'd the fight, so I went back and I watched it, and I was like, yo, like, Peter Quillin didn't look like Peter Quillin at all. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, he had no legs whatsoever. And listen, credit to Alfredo Angulo, because despite Peter Quillin looking the way he was looking, Alfredo Angulo still had to dig to get the victory. So big shout out to him. But the crazy thing about this is you would watch both guys and you would think like, okay, well, both of them need to retire. That's not how boxing works. When you are a guy with a name and you are perceived to be fading, you get more opportunities at big fights than you would have if you were undefeated and knocking everybody the fuck out. At the end of the day, Alfredo Angulo stock went up to get a big fight, and believe it or not, Peter Quillin's stock just went up to get a big fight. Let me explain why. Caleb Plant, he's looking at that fight and he's like, damn, I could fight either one of those guys and beat them easily, and it's a name. I can get a couple dollars off of that. Anthony Durrell probably thinking the same thing. David Benavidez probably thinking the same thing. All of the top 168 pounders in the world is looking at Alfredo Angulo and Peter Quillin now, and they're like, that's a name, that's an easy W for me. The top guys at 168 all are going to be thinking the same thing. So I guarantee you, physically it might look like Peter Quillin and Alfredo Angulo should be retiring, but they're in a prime position to get a big-time fight against a big-time 168-pounder strictly because they're going to think they're done, and it's going to be an easy payday. It's going to be up to Peter Quillin and Alfredo Angulo to prove the future opponents wrong, but as far as them two, business is about to pick up, but it's not going to be for the reasons that they would appreciate. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. G5 Jeff TV, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please share this video, support your boy. Support good content at all times. I appreciate y'all. Peace.